So now I'll tell you, I purchased a property in 2007 at $250,000. I short sold it for $167,000. That was a very painful thing. And I had to eat a huge loss with that and potentially lost my VA home loan benefit in the process because of the short sale. So, over the next couple years, it was a challenge because I had maxed out all my credit cards. We moved into base housing, so I was no longer getting BAH. They were taking all of that away. But I had just commissioned as an officer, and it was good because the pay increase was fantastic. And we said, okay, let's figure out how to completely rid ourselves of this debt. But it was a little while before we did that. We were still, it took a little while. I promoted at least once or twice. I promoted at least twice in the process and changed commands. And so I was on the Theodore Roosevelt at the time. No, I'm sorry. I had PCS to Naval Special Warfare Group 10 in Virginia Beach. And while I was there, I deployed to Baghdad. And I was spending some time on boots on the ground with those guys. And while I was there, I called my detailer to get orders. And mind you, I was like almost 2 years out. It's kind of impossible to get orders. I just wanted to get see what was going to be available at that time frame. And there was a couple jobs in Hawaii. And one of them was this XO job over at Pac Fleet. And I said, hey, I'd really be interested in taking this job to be the staff XO out there. And she said, hey, I'll pencil you in there. Just reach out to me in April of next year when you're about a year out, and I'll go ahead and make it official. So we get there to the point where we're a year out. I'm driving back up from Disney World. I just took my family there. And I send her an email from my BlackBerry. And next thing I know, I get an out-of-office message saying that she's not going to be in until the next week. But then I get 20 minutes later, I get another email while I'm at a rest stop saying, hey, here's your official write-in for these orders, and there you go. And I'm like, holy crap, we're going to Hawaii. And my wife and I at the time, we had just started figuring out how to pay off our debt. Okay, so we listened to the whole Dave Ramsey thing. We were following the baby steps 1 through 7 or whatever, but we stopped at 3 because we were like, there's no way we're going to save enough money to buy a house for cash. It's just not going to happen, especially going to Hawaii. It's just not going to happen. So we had about $28,000 in credit card debt. We had some personal loans. It was about $40K altogether. And we wound up in a 2-year span paying all of that off and saving an additional $40K into our savings account on a single income. At the time, I was a O2. I just promoted to O3 before going to take this job. And so we wound up PCS into Hawaii with zero debt and $40K in the bank. And we were feeling like, yeah, we made it, right? And we got here to Hawaii and we're looking at homes and it's crazy because even back in 2018, every home we put an offer on, it wasn't going to stick unless we offered over asking price. That's just the market in Hawaii. It's absolutely bonkers. Finally, the 5th house we put an offer on, it stuck and we went into contract. And I'm calling the VA, I'm getting all this stuff done, and I'm trying to see if I can get my VA loan. And I call the VA and they say, well, hey, we got a note on your record saying that you don't have your eligibility anymore. Let me look into this. And they look into it, they get back to me and they said, hey, Lieutenant, we see here that you had the short sale on this home. However, the lender that you used, they had 180 days to file the paperwork. They filed it on the 181st day. So here's your certificate of eligibility. I was like, what? Okay, someone's looking out for me. This is awesome. And we wound up being able to purchase our home with a VA loan. And at the time, there was caps on the VA loan. So we had to put a small percentage down because I think the cap was $721,000 and change, right? And the house we were buying was $799, but we got it down to $785 based off the VA appraisal, which was pretty cool. So we had to put 1/4 of that difference down, which was I think $17,000. Wasn't a big deal. We had the money to do that, right? The rest of the money we used to do renovations. And then I realized how expensive Hawaii was because that money was gone very quickly. So yeah, that was very interesting, but it was one of the ways that we were able to get out here, get our home and be where we want to be. And that journey was pretty exhausting, right? Because besides the Dave Ramsey method, we did something else called the envelope system, right? Where we had these different envelopes for different budgets, for different accounts, right? And we eventually changed it to bank accounts, and we use these different bank accounts for all the different things. Like we had a pet and vet account, we had a car payment and car maintenance account, we had a mortgage / rent, because it was in between both, account. We had a holiday and birthday account that we knew like how much we're going to spend on everybody for their birthday, for holidays and everything. We knew how much we had to put away each month to hit each one of those goals, right?